Hello, everybody. Hey, and thanks so much for tuning in today to our Career on Wheels segment today. We're so excited to have on with us none other than Coroner Michael Fowler, who will be coming on and sharing today with us the wonderful impact that he's had in the Southwest Georgia area and dealing with COVID-19. The reason why he chose to be a coroner, all of the wonderful things and aspect that it takes to serve in his local capacity. So we're going to be tuning in just a few minutes to hear some of the highlights and how he accomplished and got to the place that he is today. Many of you may know him as what the teens around Albany call him as the celebrity corner. From being interviewed on several TV shows and explaining the things that he's done and had to go through with COVID-19 and the life of being hit with a pandemic, as we call it, in Albany and across the country. And so we're so thankful for everything that he do. For those of you that are tuning in today, we ask that you continue to share this broadcast. This is a signature program for the Boys and Girls Club of Albany Teen Program. And I'm so excited to be on here today as your host to introduce somebody that I look up to, that I always see flashing and on the go and speeding through the city. He has the right to do so. And so, hey, this is an honor, but stay tuned. I'm just going to play a clip from an interview segment that he's done recently, just to kind of give you a feel of his everyday job role. And so stick with us, and we'll be back in just a few moments.
Hey, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Got another case.
Okay.
It's a 90-year-old female. A lot of times death come at night. My phone is steady ringing. So many families are calling, want to know, have their loved one been tested. I ring my adrenaline just going. I mean, I just want to be there to assist the family as much as I possibly can to get them answers. Here, when we bring the remains in, we bring them in here. I think March 15th, that's the first day my first death came in. Then I had another death, three of them the same day, and all of them had the same symptoms. We had them tested. All three of them came back positive. So we're just shocking. What we have a pandemic here. What do we have? You look for it to happen to me in a big city because you have so many people there, but here in a small city, how did it happen and why did it happen here? It was just a shock to this community. It was no fault to the funeral home, but it was just a virus that came here unnoticed and unknown, and it spread it among our community. It just went like wildfire. It was just like a bomb hit here. This is the hat that I wore in New York for the World Trade Center. Uh, we had all the different ones there to sign it. I worked the World Trade Center in New York. I did the tsunami, thousands of deaths, Puerto Rico, Irma, Maria. This disaster is completely different from any other disaster that I've worked because you can't see the virus. You don't know who is contagious, who is not contagious, who have the virus, who don't have the virus. So it's a walking mystery. When we walk into someone's house now, I usually go in with my suit on, talking to the family, sitting down and consolating them. Now I can't do that. I got to put on Tyvek. I got to put on a mask. My job is to pronounce death, find out why a person died. But on the other token, I want to save lives. Not only when I get a call saying that we have a deceased person, I ask the question, have the person been exposed or been around someone with the virus? I'm trying to seek and find out who may be infected so I can let the family members know you need to go get tested, you need to do something because we don't want you to die also. We're here at the courthouse, and I mean, it is so quiet. You can hear a pin dropping. I mean, it is so quiet. It's unreal that so many people are obeying the orders and staying in. And my hat's off to them. It's gonna take time to recover because many of us live paycheck to paycheck. Many of them working in their restaurants for tips. Now they're not working, so the rent getting behind, the light bill is due. I believe we're gonna come back. We're gonna come back stronger. It's just a matter of time. We just got to go through the season.
All right, so that was a segment that our corner, Mr. Michael Fowler, did with Time Magazine, just explaining and expressing his thoughts and the process that Albany went through. And so, looking at Mr. Fowler's bio, if you've heard him mention some of the experiences and things that he had to endure. So, looking at him, he's a native of Albany, Georgia. He had completed grade school at Doherty Comprehensive High School. We probably should have got him to be a Monroe High School tornado, but we're thankful for him matriculating through the school system here. He has his degree in mortuary science. He is a certified funeral service practitioner. He is also an embalmer and funeral director, and so he's an all-around gentleman. He's a nice person to get a chance to meet. He serves on a lot of committees and boards. And so many of the teams around our organization call him the man with the fast white truck. And so we're so excited to have him on today. So without further ado, uh, Mr. Fowler, how are you today?
I'm doing excellent. I'm glad to be a part of your team. Anything to do to help the boys and girls squad, I mean, it's a positive thing.
Hey,
I'm glad.
we're so thankful. We're so thankful to have you on today. So I just want to give a chance for you to share with our audience today some background knowledge about yourself and your experience growing up here in Albany.
Well, like you said earlier, I graduated from Doherty High Comprehensive High School. I was raised here, went to Jackson Heights Elementary, went to Hazard Laboratory, then I went to Doherty Junior High, then on to the high school. I my kids graduated from here. My children graduated from Westover. My granddaughter graduated from Albany High. So we are part of each one of the high schools. But Monroe, we just kind of adopt Monroe. We think we all one. Put it that way. We all one.
Yes, sir.
But I left here and when I was working at Firestone. Firestone decided to close down, and back in 1986, it gave me an opportunity to go back to school to pursue mortuary science. I received my funeral director's endowment license. Then I also in 1994, as a mortician, I volunteered to help with the flood of 90. We had over 400 some caskets come up. I volunteered and the GBI was working out there, the Georgia Bureau of Investigation and the pathology. And when I was out there, the volunteer to work, and I told them, if y'all ever need some help, give me a call. So once we finished that assignment, a few weeks later, they called me and asked me, do I want to become a part of the GBI team? And I took a job doing that. And also, I got another federal job on the DMOR team, Disaster Operation Respond Team. They travel all over the country. I've done over 24 major disasters, like I say, from the World Trade Center, the tsunami, Puerto Rico, Haiti, London, New Orleans. I've been all over the world doing different disasters. This disaster here now that we have the virus here in our community, COVID-19, it's a disaster that you can't really see, as I said earlier. Tornado, you can kind of get in shelter, flood, you can get on higher ground, but this disaster is something you cannot see. So it was a mystery to all of us, trying to learn what we had in the community and how to combat this community, this virus. So it was a learning experience, but I think that we had to put our boots to the ground and find out quickly what we needed to do. And I think the community came together as a whole by learning to wear masks and practice distances and being protected and washing their hands. So I think we learned very quickly, because back in April, we had 86 COVID deaths there in 86. So now,
Oh, wow.
from then to now, in the month of August, we had just 11. So for the month of September, we have not, I think we just had just one death. I got a call this morning, just one death related to COVID-19. That's it. So I'm trying to say, I think we're doing an excellent job by preparing ourselves and following the orders of what the community and the leaders have set up here. And we're doing great. So, but it was a stressful time for the whole community. Like I said, everyone was kind of nervous, where the virus come from, what we need to do. But I think we learned very quickly.
Okay. And I really can attest that anytime there is a need in Albany, and there we seem to go through trials and tests in Albany, you're the first on the scene. And we truly do appreciate that, the hard work that you put in. So I just want to
And I
go
love
into
doing I
hey,
love doing I love serving the community. That's what that's what I want to be, a servant to the community. I'll be a help to the community. And I want to treat people as if my loved one that deceased. So that's why I try to
hmm
work with families, regardless of what time of day or what time of night. I want to be there to assist the family to go through their trying times in their life, or the difficult times in their life. That's what I'm here for.
so that leads me to my first question that I would ask for you, that was submitted by our teams. What part of your job, you was just hinting on that, that you find the most challenging?
The most
Uh
challenging,
huh.
well, the most challenging is learning to deal with different family members, because everyone responds
hmm
different. Uh, there'll be some that may be crying, some may be quiet, some may take off, start running. So being able to adjust and to deal with them during their time of their loss, many times it's shocking to them, especially on a homicide. Suicide is shocking to them, and helping and being able to go to that family house and tell them that their loved one not coming home no more, or even dealing with kids. Those are the most difficult times, to be able to tell someone that your child is gone, that you're not going to be able to see them graduate. You're not going to be able to see them get married. Things like that. Those are difficult times for me to deal with.
I can only imagine. And looking at looking at the situation that we're faced with now with the pandemic and doing virtual school, how important would you say it is for teens and young adults to attain a good, valuable education? And how have your education matriculation through the school system helped shape you to where you are today?
Well, I made my mind early that I wanted to be and do something with my life. I want to do something positive. I want to be a effective. I want to have some things in life. Now I realize in order to have some things in life that won't be taken steady hard. I mean, you that's in your circle may not mean your circle may die. Somebody go to jail. Somebody go to jail. Keep moving forward. You got to keep thinking. Be one of the ones that I'm gonna be one of the ones that make it. I made it. I believe you can do it, regardless of what side of town or what side of the track you come up on. This is something that you got to do. What I need to do because I want to drive a nice car. I want to have a nice home. I want to do that. So school is gonna be very, and now during our time. I mean, now during our time, now you got Hope Grant. You got all kinds of funds out there to help a kid, a child to go through school now. So the opportunities are there online now. At times we didn't have anything about online when I was coming up. So now they got online. So I mean, it's all kinds of opportunities out there. So I want to encourage kids, please go to school, get yours. If nobody else don't get in your class, don't get yours. Get your lesson so you can be a productive in the community.
And that's so important. The Boys and Girls Club supports our teens in so many ways, and our children and club members in so many ways when it comes to academics. And looking at the current environment and all of the wonderful things that you assist us in doing here at the Boys and Girls Club with our Learn to Swim program and safety measures that we do throughout our city. Um, Tell us, how many hours a day do your work they consist of? Do you ever get a chance to sleep?
I mean, during March and April, like I said, March and April, May was very difficult to get sleep because many people was down during the night. Then when you go, like I said, we had 86 regular death from the COVID-19. That's not the regular, the natural death that died. We had other death that happened in our community. And many times you go to a scene, sometimes you're there an hour, sometimes you may be there at least 4 hours. So it was a lot of time that many of the EMS, the law enforcement, and myself, we were losing a lot of sleep because we wanted to be there to be a servant to the community, to the family. But now maybe I sleep a little bit more because the death rate have slowed down tremendously, especially from the COVID-19 virus. And I think we're doing great. But it was very difficult to sleep during that time because family members calling all times of the night trying to find out where their loved one at. Did you test them for the virus? Could we have an autopsy done? They had all kinds of questions, and I keep my phone on 24/7, regardless of. I wanted to be able to answer the phone. I didn't put an answer machine on my phone. I answer the phone when a family call me. I want to be there to assist them, to answer the question and try to help them through that time because I don't need an answer machine to answer a call and I'm going through a stressful time in my life. So I was there trying to assist the family. So I didn't get quite a bit of sleep during that time, but I'm able to sleep a little bit better now. So my
Well,
hours is
that's
very
good.
sometimes, like I said, the hours you can't never predict. Most times something's gonna happen when you plan something. If I plan to go to the
Hmm.
movies, I plan to go out. And many times those are the calls I most times get.
Well, that's good. And I know that having a position like yours is demanding and sometimes it can be stressful. It requires a lot from you to be on target and on point and be diligent. So I
Yes,
would
it's
I would
very
ask
important.
for you just to share for some students that are going into college and some that may be going into the health field, and then some that may even consider mortician school. What are some of your highlight memories of courses that you've taken through mortician school? I know that may have been times where you took one class, you was like, "No, this ain't for me." So, how was your experience in
Yeah,
mortician
well,
school?
definitely. Well, I enjoyed martial arts school. Uh, Doing when I went back in school, I think I was like 35, and I was one of the oldest students in class. And most of the kids were just coming out of high school, 18, 19 years old. At first, I was kind of uncomfortable thinking that I wasn't going to make it and hang out with those kids. But then I found out I made honor roll through the whole year. But I enjoyed accounting. I enjoyed uh, grief, psychology, able to talk with family and going out on funerals, carrying the funerals out. So I enjoyed those. But embalming was my niche. I love embalming. I love restorative art, trying to make someone loved one look better. I love putting a smile on their face to make them look good. That the family say they look the best. This is figure of speech, but sometimes you can make them look real good. So that I enjoyed doing those things. But it took studying. I had to make my mind that I had to study many times a lot of other things because I had made up my mind. I got a year and a half to get it, and I can't afford to fail because I had a family. I had 3 kids at home. I want to
Mhm.
encourage kids when you have an opportunity time to learn. My dad always told me if you ever get it up here, nobody can never take it away from you. Always use that. And every downfall is always sometime a stepping stone toward your future to making things better. Path already, so we just need to stay focused and committed to what we want to do. Back off from the wrong crowd. Back off from the ones that don't want to make it, or don't want to achieve, don't want to have, get it the right way. So I encourage them to get it, learn. If you're going in forensic science, microbiology, chemistry, those are good fields to get into. Criminal justice. I mean, a lot of time, different one to, as I retired from the GBI Medical Examiner's Office. I worked there for until I retired as a forensic pathology assistant. That was one of my favorite jobs I ever had. There's numerous of jobs at the GBI Crime Lab. You can be a forensic photographer, X-ray, fingerprint. I mean, there's so many different jobs that a young pursue, and you can learn a lot of this online. You can learn a lot of this subject online that you can just stay home and Google. I want to be a fingerprint expert. I want to be an X-ray tech. I want to be a great
Mhm.
photographer, fingerprint writer. So those are different jobs that you can make a great salary, benefits, vacation, sick leave, 401k. You got a great job in working for the state. Like I said, I work for the state. I'm still working for the federal government. And federal government, you're gonna make a little bit more money, but you may have to move from Albany. But pursue those avenues that you can have a great income. You don't want a job just be able to pay your bills. You want to be able to achieve some things in life. So study and you want to pursue.
All right. So, looking and hearing how um, Albany has really shaped your mindset and view and gave you an opportunity to achieve your dreams and goals, and how you've traveled all over the country. Knowing that um, you've had your hand on a lot of different cases and a lot of different places. What are some final words and encouragement that you would share with teens from across Albany and across the country that are listening to us and going to watch this video? Any final remarks that you would like to share to those listeners today?
Encourage them never give up. High school, I was not and I think I made a couple of D's, but my mom and dad got on my behind and told me I had to do better. But I made up my mind that when I had the opportunity, so when I got in college, I had to get it because I knew it wasn't going to be free. I had to work for it and I had to fight for it. Then once you get it, nobody can take it away, and you can use that to further skill your education. Thing I want to encourage kids: miss time is hard to get it. The season is here for you to get your lesson while you're in school. Pursue that at that time because it's hard sometimes to go back to get it. So fight hard to achieve everything you possibly can while you're going through that grade or going through that season in your life. And sometimes, like I said, you may have a downfall, you may have a stumble, but get back up. Don't never quit. I want to encourage you, don't never quit. You can always achieve what you want.
That's so true. That's so true. And so to our teens that are listening today, take an opportunity to grasp the words that Mr. Fowler has shared with us today, the impact that he's had on several people and communities that he has had the privilege to serve. Doesn't matter where you start from; it just matters about where you're trying to go and where you plan on landing. And so I'm so excited to have you on, Mr. Fowler, and to be a part, a huge supporter and partner of the Boys and Girls Club with all. Mr. Fowler, I know that you are a busy person, and so we thank you for taking time out of your day today to come on and share with us. And a special thanks to your assistant, Miss Joy, for making sure that this opportunity happened for our teams.
Thank you. Glad, like I said, I'm glad to be a part of it. And I want to say, any kid that have a concern, or question, or whatever, you can always call my office. You can come by my office. I have an internship with high school students and college students. You want to come in and serve an internship in our office to learn more about forensic, about the death, dying. I'm glad to help you to assist whatever I can or possibly do.
Hey, that sounds great, especially with our new push now with the Boys and Girls Club for Workforce Development. I'll certainly be getting in contact with you.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all again.
Okay,
Tell,
and you
tell,
have,
tell Mr. Marvin hello too. Appreciate it.
I will do, and you have a good rest of your day.
Thank you now. Okay, bye.
Okay. All right. Hey, listen, we're going to take a quick commercial break and then we're going to go to our wonderful friends over at Wells Fargo. Listen, for those teens that are listening today and for their parents, make sure that if it's one bank that you go get an account with, this Wells Fargo, that's my bank. These are my good people over there at Wells Fargo. And so we're so excited to have them on today to share with us in this experience. We're going to take a quick break, and we're going to tune in next with some wonderful people from the Wells Fargo family. Stay tuned to this wonderful video from one of our former Youth of the Year candidates, Mr. Steven.
My name is Steve Harrison. I am a senior who attends Monroe High School. I go to Jerry Wilson Boys and Girls Club. I aspire to be a psychologist who will soon and later own his own performance art school.
All right, so that's one of our former Youth of the Year candidates, Mr. Steven, who is now attending Middle Georgia College, and we're so excited for the wonderful things that he is doing. I want to go ahead and bring up none other than Mr. Patrick Reed, who is an employee of Wells Fargo, along with Miss Jeretha Peters, who is also an employee of Wells Fargo. And they are wonderful employees. They serve in many capacities. Mr. Patrick Reed serves as financial advisor at Wells Fargo Advisors, and also Ms. Peters serves as financial advisor and first vice president of investments and branch manager. So several titles. She's a woman of many hats. And so we're excited to have her on today with us. And so without further ado, I'm going to invite them on to this platform today. Hello, how are you?
Good afternoon.
Good
It's
afternoon.
so
Good
good to
afternoon.
have you all on today.
Well, thank you for having us. We're honored to be able to join your signature program, Career on Wheels. And so we thank you for the opportunity to speak to through your platform.
No
Yeah,
problem,
absolutely.
no problem. So listen, I'm gonna start off by allowing you all to introduce yourself and just share some background knowledge about where you're from and how you got to where you are today. So I'm going to start with Miss Peters.
Okay, well, I'm community bred. I graduated from Monroe High School, and so Albany is my community. I graduated from Albany State University in 2004, but I began my career shortly after high school with SunTrust and got involved in the financial industry. So I've been doing this for well over 20 years and have learned through different facets how to, bring not only financial literacy and education, but understanding to my community to help us grow and attain wealth.
Okay, okay. Hey, and it's always good to have a Monroe grad on with me to share today. Mr. Reed, how are you
Yes,
today, sir?
yes, I am. I am not community bred. I am born and raised in New York City. So,
Okay.
yeah, I'm one of them Yankees that migrated down south.
But he's
Um,
good people.
Well,
so,
welcome,
yeah,
sir. Welcome, sir.
right. Well, I've actually got migrated down south in for graduate school when I went to at Georgia Tech, where I
Okay.
acquired a master's in engineering. Worked in the engineering field for several years, about 8 years, until I decided that that wasn't what I wanted to do. I wanted to work more in the financial industry. I made the transition about 12 years ago, and it's been a wonderful thing for me being able to help people achieve their financial goals in a tremendous way.
Okay, okay. So it seems like both of you ended up in the industry of financial advisement and helping people get on the right track for gaining wealth. So let's talk for a moment about what that really means to you all and to this millennial generation and Generation X, Y, and Z that's coming up. What are some tips that you would share to them? For getting on the right track starting now. And whoever want to take a grasp at it.
That's a deep question because every generation unfolds to have different unique circumstances and the opportunities vary. And so for millennials, it's a little bit different than the Zoomers. I think that's what the next generation is called. And so the approach to millennials have been very different for us as advisors. And so my best advice to millennials, because longevity is such a concern in our industry, I could tell the best shot for success of attaining wealth for millennials would be to save early. Time is on their side. So if they can begin making those activities center around, their long-term goals, it's never too early to start. Patrick, what can you add to it? I know you can add more to it.
Sure. I mean, I certainly agree with Jeretha when she talks about being able to start early, and with this generation now, of course, it depends on your background and where you come from and what you know and what you are already aware of with regards to the financial industry. So I would say educating yourself is very important. Making sure that you learn as much as you possibly can about the financial industry, because the more you learn at an earlier age, the better it will set you up for success when you're later. For me, growing up in inner city New York, I knew nothing about the financial industry. It wasn't until I got
Mhm.
to graduate school at Georgia Tech that I was introduced to it. And once I became introduced, the more I learned about it, the more I got excited about it. So, and I did a lot, took a lot of proactive steps to educate myself about the financial industry. And knowing that, I want to say, uh, I would echo the same sentiment to the younger generation now is learn what you can, to save what you can, and learn how you can engaged from an investing standpoint. Now, there are a lot of tools that are available online that can help assist you with the process of getting started.
So what skills and what type of knowledge with a person looking to go into a career field like a financial advisor or a branch manager, what teams need to start developing now?
Well, I'll chime in. I'll say, yeah, the skill sets that I would say are foundational to uh, work in the financial industry that they typically look for is, critical thinking skills, analytical skills. A lot of the skills that you find in some of the math and science educational fields. Those are I would say foundational, and then beyond that, what I would encourage from the standpoint of skills to develop so that will really help you to excel once you're in the industry is develop your communication skills and leadership skills, your ability to connect with people, um, and really to influence others is one of the things that will truly impact your success in the industry.
And I echo that sentiment, Patrick, because in our industry, a lot of the success that we've seen is relationship driven, and we're having to, build relationships. So strong interpersonal skills is, a definite must, and the ability to think and reason is definitely key. So I echo those sentiments as well.
Okay. So do you think that um, it's important now that many people start taking the opportunity of investing really serious with so many things that's happening now with the stock market the way it is? How can parents start taking the opportunity to start setting up and saving for their children preparing to go to college?
I think that's a great time, and I think now more than ever is more than we're at a critical point and entryway into number one, educating yourself about the market. There's so much media around investing that I think it's triggered an interest, and I think this would be a great opportunity to capitalize on the interest of investing in the market. But number one, partnering with a financial advisor or a financial educator to understand the ins and out of investing, because it's a little bit different than savings. Because savings, there's guarantees and principal protection, whereas investing is a little bit different. So I think understanding and having the education level before you enter in the market is very key into making sure you're starting on a successful path and a trajectory toward reaching your goal. Um, that's what I would encourage parents to start doing now with their kids. There's so many online tools and resources. You don't even have to go and schedule an appointment. You can do so much online research yourself and get the basis of how it works. And then from there, choose a partner or a professional to partner with to help you navigate all of the ups and downs and the volatilities in the market.
And so, Mr. Peters, Mr. Reed, I would ask for you to answer this question. A student just texted me this. So, talking about being a financial advisor, what are some of the classes that you took at Georgia Tech or after that set you up to become a financial advisor?
Well, actually, the coursework that I had at Georgia Tech was in no way connected to me growing into the industry and learning about the industry. A lot of what I learned about the industry before I got started was just through my own personal education, reading information online, learning about investing, learning about um, investment strategies that can be utilized, reading magazines, and those are the things that I learned that helped my own personal strategy prior to getting into the industry. Once I got started in the industry, of course, the first thing for me was to get licensed, and I got an education through licensing. And then after that, I went and studied for the financial certified financial planning certificate program through Oglethorpe University here in Atlanta, and that was about a year and a half program, and that helped me to learn a lot more financial concepts as well. So there was no coursework that I had taken while I was in school that I would say that was directly related, but there are campuses nowadays that do have coursework like securities industry essentials that help bridge the gap to where you can learn about the industry prior to getting into it.
And I know for our organization, our national organization, we teach to our teams a program called Money Matters. And Money Matters actually takes them through the step of learning how to set up a bank account, learning how to invest, learning how to set up money and save money so that you can afford to pay for tuition for college and pay for books. And so Money Matter actually helps our students when it comes to running concession stands inside of our buildings. So they know how much money they have in their accounts. They know how to budget when they go to Sam's and purchase items. And so my next question would be to you, Miss Peters. What steps in the process and journey did it take in your career field to become a branch manager?
Wow. So, that there were many steps, but to like Patrick, the industry that we're in is not specifically tailored to a specific degree program. So, my background was accounting at first, and I was in accounts receivables, and that's where I landed after graduation. And it was soon after that I realized I didn't like looking at general ledger accounts all day and processing, those types of transactions, that I found myself doing more of what I like, which was interacting with people and help solving problems. And I began on that trajectory in the service model in order to, redefine my career. And so basically, how I ended up as a branch manager was fundamentally making sure I postured myself to always be able to serve the client. And now I'm fortunate enough to just lead a team of people that our core goal is to serve our clients with exceptional service. So for someone that's interested in saying, how do I obtain a position as a manager? You have to consider that it's a leadership role, and that you have to create a vision and make sure your vision aligns with the corporation or the company that you work with to help better the overall organization and the team of people that you lead. And so that's what landed me in the role as branch manager. My desire to be able to share my vision that is cohesive with the company I work with, Wells Fargo, and share people's experiences with their clients and continue to help them develop to deliver exceptional service continuously.
Got you, got you. So it sounds to me as if that with every job that you've had, it helped you grow a little more in every area to get where you are today. And so when you start talking about leadership, it made me think about our Keystone program and our Youth of the Year program, where we actually take teams through a process to develop them to become leaders to represent our organization. And looking at what leadership means to you all and the roles that you all play in the industry, how vital and important it is for you to always have a positive attitude in case something goes left field at work. How 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 do you maintain your composure in the leadership roles that you all have?
Well, I'll hop in there, Patrick, and you can
Go
echo
ahead.
into it,
Go
because first
ahead.
of all, we have to lead ourselves. Working in the industry that we're in, every day is different. It's like an adventure. And that was one of the things I loved about investments. No one day is similar to the next. When you're talking about the stock market, it never ends on the same exact thing. And if it does, I'm sorry, it's just part I haven't remembered. But being able to lead yourself first, and once you master that, it becomes a little bit easier when you're starting to help lead your clients navigate turbulent times and volatile markets. And then for a leadership role, because I've had the opportunity to help lead clients through anxious moments, now I'm able to use that same skill set and lead, the team members that are within my branch system through those same moments of angst and anxiousness that the economic or the geopolitical environment may create. I think one of the things that you said about your leadership program is making sure that you train leaders to, number one, start with yourself and lead yourself. And that was what in turn creates us a calm. Many of my team members say, Jeretha, nothing seems to frazzle you. And that's really because at my core, I believe there's always a solution to a problem. It may create another problem, but I do believe that there's always a solution to a problem. And so I know Patrick's, his experience is a little different because he's in Atlanta, and there's a lot of things that are going on down there that may be different than, slow Albany. So Patrick, what is your experience?
Yeah, I would say I would certainly echo the mindset of making sure that you're self-led. And part of the reason why I would say that as well is because one of the reminders that I always hold true is that the attitude of those that I lead will be amplified by my own disposition, right? So if I'm worried and I'm nervous and concerned, it would only be amplified by those that I lead. So I'm recognizing that my disposition has an impact on those that I'm leading. So when clients are looking for me to be that voice of reason, that voice of calm, then it's always important for me to know that it's critical for me to know that I have to maintain a level-headed perspective and recognizing that in every challenge there is a solution. I may not know necessarily what the
Mhm.
solution is, but there is one, and it's incumbent upon me to make sure that I had that perspective regardless of what faces. Because here's the thing, in our industry, there's always something to be concerned about, right? You can look back at historically, in every year, there's always something to be concerned about financially, geopolitically, just so many different factors that are going on that impacting the world from a financial standpoint. And it's always but at the end of the day, our economic system is resilient. Our economic markets are resilient. So regardless of the challenges, we always find ways to work through those challenges. So recognizing that, okay, while this challenge may look different, there's always a solution that we can lie ahead. It may take us to roll up our sleeves and dig in our heels a little bit, but we can find a solution if we put our heads together.
Exactly, exactly. And I tell our teams all the time to become more solution driven, to become more oriented and leadership knowledgeable, that you understand that when an issue arises, that you quickly don't hesitate and you don't get upset and that you don't get frustrated, but find a solution. Take a moment to think, observe, assess what's going on, and then come up with an action plan to resolve it. And so, listening to you all today and understanding that dealing with numbers and dealing with the economy and dealing with GOP, it comes with a lot of knowledge and understanding that you have to stay aggressive what's taking place around you so that you can best advise the people that you serve on a day-to-day basis. And so going from climbing the ladder from SunTrust to a branch manager, that's a huge process and a huge achievement. And so that's something that I really applaud you for, Miss Peters. And also taking the opportunity today to listen to you, Mr. Reed, really share your experiences. Now, I want to ask you all to do me a favor. As we prepare to close, I know that the questions are still coming because you all have really sparked the topic of conversation that comes about financial wealth. I was just having this conversation with our teams last night about budgeting and understanding how budget works. I will ask you all to Miss Peters first. Can you share some final words and knowledge and remarks to the young ladies that are watching? Words of motivation and inspiration. And the same for you, Mr. Reed. Can you share some knowledge and words of inspiration to the young men that'll be watching and is watching right now and be listening to this live segment?
I'll just say as words of motivation to every young woman that's listening out there is to always believe in yourself, never give up on yourself. I was a single mom and I went through college as a single mom and raising my daughter. I still was able to complete my bachelor's degree successfully, and it was all because I never gave up on myself. So whenever you go through life, there are always going to be circumstances. Life never goes the way you actually plan it. But as long as you hold fast to whatever your morals and your visions are and never give up on yourself, you'll land in a successful place.
All right. And Mr. Reed?
Yes, to all the young men out there, that I would say to you, your success will be dictated by your own resilience. Regardless of what you face in life, regardless of what your background is, yeah, you may stumble and fall, you may come into some challenges, but depending on how resilient you are in working through those challenges, will ultimately propel you towards your success in whatever endeavor that you take on, and making sure that from a financial standpoint, you are educating yourself along the way so that you have a definitive plan on what action steps you are going to take to manage yourself from a financial standpoint to help your success is going to be critical. And like you mentioned, it starts with a budget. It starts with the small details that lead to the big goals little bit later on down the line. So making sure that you're paying attention to that. and that you're always in action and you're being very resilient regardless of what setbacks come your way, then ultimately it will propel you to the goals that you set yourself out for.
And knowing that the process that you all have taken to get where you are today, the experiences that you all have went through, um, the knowledge that you all have shared today has really sparked the conversation with our team so much. I just had one team that text me and asked, "Can we do a private one-on-one session?" And so I'll certainly be reaching back out to you all. I want to thank you all so much for taking time out of your day and coming on and sharing today, and just sharing some experiences of your Wells Fargo experiences and how you got in the career field that you're in, because not everybody is able to be a financial advisor. Not everybody has the skill set to serve in the capacity as branch manager and work their way up and share positive and good information. There's never been a time that I've called Wells Fargo and got some misleading information. So I know that you all are on the pathway to doing some great things. And so continue to have a wonderful work day. And hopefully in the upcoming months, we'll be calling on you all again to do another segment with us from our Money Matters curriculum about savings and about investing. I tell our teens all the time, it's never too early to start investing. It's never too early to open up your first bank account. It's never too early to start preparations for where you're trying to be in life. And that's part of the foundation that we've set for these Career and Will segment, is to connect them with people who they can reach out to and become mentees to and mentors. And so we thank you all so much for your experience today, and we hope that something is shared to the people that's been listening to our teams that will benefit them for the rest of their life and help spark a conversation of interest to them. So we thank you so much, Miss Peters and Mr. Reed.
Thank you so much for having us. And I'm here to help. If you have any of your students who reach you by text or email and want more information, Wells Fargo has a great number of resources. We do internship programs, and we do actually have mentorship programs. So for those that are interested, there are just so many ways to connect with an advisor. And listen, I would love to see many, many more minorities join the field of being a financial advisor. Just give us, the opportunity to help share with you about the industry, and we'll welcome you with glad arms.
All right, listen, hey, I'm going to take you up on the offer, and we're going to connect some wonderful teams with you. So, again, thank you all so much. You all have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thank you. You
Absolutely. It was a
too.
pleasure to be here and glad to be a resource however we can.
Hey, and stay safe in Atlanta, Georgia. Don't let the heat get you today.
I hear you. I hear you.
All right, you all have a wonderful rest of your day.
All right. Have a
Thank
great
you.
day.
You also.
All right. Hey, listen, we thank you all so much for tuning in today to our wonderful segment. Like always, we appreciate our special guests for always coming on and sharing words of wisdom to us. People just don't have to share their experiences with you and the pathway that they've took to get to where they are today. On the behalf of our CEO, Mr. Marvin Laster, and all of the staff here at the Boys and Girls Club, we thank you all so much for tuning in today. And we can't wait to experience another segment of our Career on Wheels broadcast. Stay tuned for all upcoming events that we may be having and posting. We do have our center open now for K through 5 students. And so reach out to our staff at our Jane Wilson location and Thorn Park location, and those hours are from 7:30 to 5. And we also have our teen center open in the afternoon at Jefferson Street location, and that center is open from 4:30 to 8 o'clock. So stop by Jefferson Street and sign your teams up if you would like for our after school program. In the meantime, we ask that you be safe, take care of yourself, and we'll see you next time. Have a wonderful rest of your Thursday.
Hello, my name is Taylor Walker. I am a freshman at Doherty Comprehensive High School. I attend Thornton Park Boys and Girls Club. I aspire to be a successful graphic designer or a science teacher.